Now, the Netflix series IC814, the Kandahar Hijack, has sparked a controversy soon after its release. The show has come under fire, with numerous netizens accusing it of misrepresenting facts and whitewashing the events. There's widespread outrage over the hijackers' names being given Hindu names. And today, Netflix India content head met the secretary of the INB ministry. In fact, the updated opening credits of the Netflix series will now include the real names of the two hijackers whose Hindu code names had drawn criticism for the makers. Netflix India has also assured the centre that in the future, content will be in accordance with nation's sentiments. On the other hand, the INB ministry believes that a bill to regulate OTT platforms is now necessary. But for the meat on IC814 series, the Netflix team has assured the Indian government that all content will be reviewed. In fact, in future, they will be mindful of national security and child sensitivity as well. And as per sources, Netflix was grilled hard. They were asked why no caption was flashed to make the real names of the hijackers clear. They were also asked why the portrayal of hijackers bordered around being firm and sensitive, while the negotiators appeared weak and confused. Meanwhile, the Bharatiya Janata Party has condemned the series, calling it a leftist agenda to whitewash the crimes of Pakistani terrorists. But the opposition claims that the outrage over the series is simply because it has arrived as a reminder of BJP government's massive failure back in 1999. And that it reminds the nation how the intelligence and government agencies were caught off guard during that dreaded hijack. But the government is crystal clear that sentiments, that too national sentiments, cannot be hurt over creativity. And today, since the government quizzed Netflix official, let's also tell you what emerged out of that meeting. As per top government sources, these are the questions that were posed to Netflix India. Why was there no rider about the hijackers' real names introduced right in the beginning? Why did the hijackers look sensitive in the series? Remember, the accusation is that they are being shown as humane people. Why did the negotiators also appear weak and confused? Why should the time band or time bar be regulated is also another question that was posed. At the same time, how and who funded these Netflix series? Under fire, Netflix has also updated its disclaimer now, and in a recently released statement, Netflix India's content vice president of India says that for benefit of audiences unfamiliar with 1999 hijacking, opening disclaimer has been updated to include real and code names of the hijackers. The code names in series also reflect those used during the actual event. India has a rich culture of storytelling. We are committed to showcasing these stories and their authentic representation. And that brings us to the big question on IC814, the Kandahar Hijack series. As the storm is only snowballing, is there a bid to whitewash facts? That's the question we'll be posing to our guests today.
I am very happy that the INB ministry and the government of India has taken cognizance of this.
अगर वो बकवास दिखा रहे हैं, हमारी भावनाओं को आहत कर रहे हैं और कहानी में छेड़छाड़ कर रहे हैं, इन पर कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए।
यहाँ पर एक OTT में भी सेंसर बोर्ड लगाया जाए।
Alright, and with that, in fact, my first and the only guest right now is Arshpreet Khadyal, who's a spokesperson of the Congress party. I'll also be joined in by other guests, but let me begin with Arshpreet. Thank you for being on time. But now that the rider has been added, many are saying that this in itself is a silent acknowledgement that there was a blunder on their part when they did not mention the real names of those hijackers.
Well, the Bharatiya Janata Party ought to give up their double standards in the first place. the BJP never ever spoke when emergency movie was caught up in a controversy. When Sikh organizations were demanding a ban on emergency movie for spoiling the image of Sikhs, not a single BJP leader spoke. However, some leaders from the Punjab BJP demanded action against Kangana Ranaut. Nevertheless, Mr. Modi, Mr. Shah didn't say a word about it. Second of all, Kashmir files, Article 370, accidental prime minister, emergency movie, etc., etc., etc. Before elections, whenever the Bharatiya Janata Party feel it's convenient, they would let that movie be released. They wouldn't question it, and their BJP MP is the actor, producer. That is all good. But this movie, the Bharatiya Janata Party is objecting to. I don't understand one thing. Why does the Bharatiya Janata Party not come forward and answer a few questions? One, why did the Bharatiya Janata Party release these three terrorists? Why did you release Maulana Masood Azhar? Why did you release Mushtaq Ahmed? Why did you release Omar Saeed? You need to tell us. Were these not involved in the 26/11 attacks? And second, why was the ISI allowed into the Pathankot air base? Since you say you're nationalist, since you say security comes first, tell us. Why did you allow the ISI to come into a restricted area? You gave the permission to that. And three, the Bharatiya Janata Party ought to answer the questions regarding their own leaders. For example, Tariq Ahmad Mir and Talib Hussain Shah. These are allegedly terrorists and they have links with terrorists. And despite that, the Bharatiya Janata Party, for example, gave ticket to Tariq Ahmad Mir in the 2014 assembly polls that happened in Jammu and Kashmir. So the Bharatiya Janata Party ought to come clean and answer these questions.
All right, let me quickly bring in Dr. Anil Kumar, who's a former member of the CBFC as well. Mr. Kumar, do you think that the same yardstick as is being judged for, say, a movie like Emergency has also been used for these OTT series on IC814's hijacking? Because remember, Kangana Ranaut has taken to Twitter and she's been crying foul that, you know, there's obscene level of violence and nudity permitted on OTT platforms, but nothing's done about it, whereas movies like Emergency are, dictated with cuts.
Coming to the point, both are two different platforms. One is a commercial movie with its own censorship, what is regulated. The other one is a web series, which is done by a new set of rules. So we cannot combine both of them on the same yardstick. But let's not politicize the entire issue.
No, but why not the same yardstick? Because that's exactly what the actor has been saying, that I could have just released my movie on an OTT platform and gotten away with it. But because it's being released in the cinema hall...
You have to decide. There are two different systems. The CBFC looks into a commercial movie with a different yardstick because it is bound by the Act, and the rules and regulations are entirely different in its theatre to what is shown on a OTT. OTT is a new platform with its own set of guidelines where it is more liberal. So you cannot compare both of them in the commercial sense. So, and I do not want to politicize. Neither of the two parties who are in the government and the rule formation have never applied their brain to bring an act which can save both of them. If a Congress supported actor or a producer or a member of parliament comes out with their movie, they support it in a different way. The same is the case with another political party. We should look at this as an entertainment industry. Movie is a form of business now. So let's be very clear on the do's and the don'ts rather than sensitize certain things to get more TRP or more collection.
Kasturi Shankar is also... All right, I'm also going to request my team to look into your audio connection because that seems to be giving us some problem. But let me also bring in actor Kasturi Shankar, who has also just joined us right now. Kasturi, are you happy with the disclaimer that's now been added to the series? Do you think this is the team's own way of acknowledging that they have made a mistake somewhere?
First of all, I'll say that this is a fair compromise. Do respect the team's point of view. I think when the team was making the movie, they stuck to the details and the information that was available in the public domain. So their research was 100% unquestionable. I mean, Bola and Shankar were in truth how the terrorists were called. That's how they were calling each other, burger and all that. So I understand that is the truth, and that was reality as it played out. However, when you make a series as opposed to a movie, there are some things that are lost in translation. And I believe the government has pointed that out. Because if you don't see, let's say you saw the first episode today, and then you don't see the rest of it. No, you didn't binge watch it. You watched an episode later. तीसरा एपिसोड तो कभी बाद में आपने देखा तो I think viewers, there was the possibility of viewers losing the narrative that these are not Bola and Shankar. These are terrorists, Islamic terrorists who are using these as their nicknames. So I see this disclaimer as number one. Well, I don't think they had an option. I think that if Netflix wants to operate in India, they need to also watch how they operate. You cannot get away with everything. Netflix by itself, the speaker before me was talking about how people with certain ideologies and political affiliations are treated differently. I think that is true of every government everywhere in the world. You cannot do business. Twitter has been thrown out of Brazil because they wouldn't answer questions. Is it right? Is it wrong? It can be debated.
All right.
You have to do business in every country with sensitivity to the country's sentiments, to the nation's people, to the truth, as well as to national security. You cannot make a series and then say this is the truth, because it is a fictional representation of the truth. So I think the disclaimer is a compromise.
Right.
It's good because you don't have to cut anything. You can go ahead and you don't have to, just completely mute everything. We must be aware that we don't have censorship for OTT platforms, and that is a gift. That is a privilege. And when you have that gift, it is very important for a platform like Netflix. Netflix is known as a leftist platform the world over. They are very liberal with their sex and violence, and we don't censor that in India. So they need to draw the line somewhere. So I think this is a win for Netflix more than the government of India.
On that point, I quickly want to bring in Anil Kumar before I go to Radhika, because she's finally joined us, our BJP spokesperson. Mr. Anil Kumar, you heard Kasturi has in fact made some very, very significant points over there, and that's why I want to bring you in on a platform like Netflix, which is in fact known for promoting so-called wokeism. Where does it accommodate space for national sentiment, and has it been doing so? I know you were saying that it would be unfair to compare the OTT platform with cinema, but the fact of the matter remains, OTT ought to self-regulate, and that is something it perhaps has not been doing.
See, the government has to come out with a new rule for the OTT platform if they want to have some meaningful debate in any further releases happening in any of these series from any OTT platform. The problem here is that it is left to anybody to imagine or any creativity to come in any way. But entertainment is not on nationalism or national security. We should take these things apart. Entertainment is not leftist, center or right. Entertainment has to be seen as entertainment. Any correction to be done by Netflix or any other platform should be done. But let's stop talking about Hindu terrorism or Islamic terrorism. Let's look at OTT as a platform.
Dr. Kumar, I think as far as IC814 and the hijacking series is certainly anything but entertainment. You can't just look at it from the prism of entertainment. That would in fact be disrespecting not just nationalism involved with the issue, even the filmmakers.
It's a fiction. It's a fiction. When you take an affidavit from a maker saying it is based on real or...
You can get away with anything.
Kasturi, please.
This is not fiction. It has been promoted as a very truthful account
See,
of something
it can
that happened.
there
No,
is
I
a very
think
clever
it's just debasing
very
all those
clever way
victims,
of
all those
saying
passengers who were hijacked, and in fact, a passenger even killed, Rupin Katyal, and I think I wouldn't call it entertainment. And that's why I'd like to bring in Radhika. Radhika, let's go back to the basics. It all began with that tweet coming out from the Bharatiya Janata Party, where Anubhav Sinha was in fact accused of whitewashing the crimes of Pakistani terrorists by giving them Hindu names. But this is a fact that has also been acknowledged by the then Home Minister, Mr. Advani, something that's very much in the archives of the MEA. Why make that accusation?
Akanksha, script writing, storytelling, or making a documentary, or whatever they would like to call this series, comes with responsibility, especially when a subject is something related to national security and related to the integrity of our country and related to thousands of lives who have been affected by that one hijack.
And certainly can't be called entertainment.
Exactly. So whatever you want to call it, but whatever you're doing comes with responsibility, and especially when you're an Indian filmmaker. If he was a Pakistani filmmaker glorifying those terrorists, well, that was fine. You can have the terrorists in the end telling the air hostess apna dhyan rakhna, trying to show that they have some sentiments. That is their call if they are a Pakistani, because that is where the terrorism came from. But when you're an Indian filmmaker, you saw what happened to people. You saw the after effects of that hijack. You have to show sensitivity. Boss, you're an Indian. You can't be anti-national by doing that. Glorifying them, fine. You want to use the names that they had, the code names that they used, but why hide their real names? What was the compulsion that they were facing, or what was the intent behind hiding the real names? It's fine. You go ahead using the names that they were using, Burger and whatever. But what was the intention behind Anubhav Sinha while he was hiding the original names? What was the harm in going on and telling everyone? Everybody knows what happened. It is not something which is under the carpet. It is not something which is hidden from everyone. And whatever they represent today will be noted down, and our generations are going to watch it. Those children who were not even born at that time, they deserve to know what our nation has gone through. They deserve to know where our country stands when at the hands of terrorism and what all we have faced. So why fiddle with facts? If you want to use the name Burger, you want to use the name whatever, you want to show sensitive terrorists, that is also questionable. If you've seen the series, they've tried to show the terrorists in a sensitive light. I'm sorry, people who are hijacking over 100 people who are responsible for that entire thing that they did, they were not sensitive.
All right.
It's shameful in the name of creativity to show them as sensitive ki apna khayal rakhna when he's going off. That's not the way to represent reality. Everybody knows that was spine chilling, and that was not anything. That was everything but sensitive.
Arshpreet, one of the questions,
trying to talk about it.
Arshpreet, one of the questions that was also posed to the Netflix India head was also that why were the negotiators made to appear weak and confused? At the same time, the terrorists or the hijackers were shown in a very humane light. Are these aspects which are deeply problematic, especially when generations who were not born and were born after 99 will perhaps be viewing this as a version of what happened during that Kandahar hijacking?
Well, number one, we can see it for a fact that the Bharatiya Janata Party is really scared, that the Bharatiya Janata Party is bewildered with this movie, because they seem to be afraid of the fact that the people would see facts, and the people will be knowing that the Bharatiya Janata Party failed, that it was a blunder by the Bharatiya Janata Party, and the Bharatiya Janata Party ought to take responsibility for that. The most important of all is that censorship, the BJP talks of it. Well, why do you never ever talk of emergency movie with the same enthusiasm as the question? Because in that movie, there is distortion of history that's happening. Then there is a character assassination of a community that is happening. However, the Bharatiya Janata Party would not call for censorship of that movie. Well, Mr. Nadda did call the BJP MP Kangana Ranaut. However, we still haven't seen any action. We haven't seen a single word from the Bharatiya Janata Party that asks for a boycott or a ban. Number three is that, if a journalist or an activist posts something on social media that does not suit the Bharatiya Janata Party, we have seen them being thrown behind bars. We have seen action being initiated against them. We know that the Bharatiya Janata Party is intolerant. We know that the Bharatiya Janata Party would censor everything that does not suit them, that does not suit their side of the story, their propaganda. And we have seen that happen in many cases. For example, the movie of Diljit Dosanjh that was banned, that wasn't allowed to feature. Then there were so many songs of so many people, singers that were.
Can I please come in here?
All right.
And news channels also. News channels also.
I will give you time, Radhika. I see Kasturi has also been awaiting her turn, and I will eventually come to you,
I'm
Radhika.
sorry, this is very, very important.
When they talk of
Right.
national security.
Well, you've made your point. You've made your point. Kasturi, please quickly make your point before I go back to the BJP spokesperson.
Yeah, I mean, I will leave the mudslinging between Congress and BJP to the BJP spokesperson. I'm not part of the BJP party yet, but even I find Mr. Kharia's accusations absurd. I mean, laughable, in fact. Sir, I think you're too young to remember a movie called Kudra Patrikai, which was made in Tamil. Which was based on it was a narrative of the one day when Sri Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated.
Not yet joined BJP, you said?
Not
this
movie was
At least let her make her point, Arshpreet.
very chivalrous and not
appreciating.
the Putra Patrika movie.
There are more important
said I
things that
haven't
she's
joined
talking
the BJP
about.
yet.
Arshpreet, there are more important things that she's talking about. You have to stop heckling her. Let her make her point.
No, I'm not heckling. I'm a
Now
Then let her finish her point.
Typical
Yeah, but
Congress
if you
behavior
believe
from
it, said I'm
Ashwin
yet to
Go on. Keep heckling. Wonderful. Show the world
I
what
was just
Congress does.
appreciating
Something
that
Let
you
her
said
make her
to join
point,
the
Arshpreet. I
Yes,
sincerely urge you, let her make her point. Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, I know Congress gets very uncomfortable when they start, when they have to face people with facts. But the fact remains and the data remains that a movie called Kutra Patrika was made in Tamil. It portrayed the entire thing to me, I saw the movie. It was a neutral point of view, which showed also what the LTTE people involved in it. It showed their side of the story as well as Sri Rajiv Gandhi's activities in the days culminating with his assassination, okay? The movie was completely blackballed by the censor board, did not get a green light anywhere, not in the state, not in Tamil Nadu, not in the revising committee. It has been completely, it is just there. It's
All
a
right,
complete movie.
Arshpreet, what would you like to say to that?
The point I'm trying to make is
I just want to Bharatiya Janata Party, the amount of focus, the amount of enthusiasm that they show for movies, for entertainment, they should also show it for the national security. For Manipur example, 10% of the focus you show for movies, show it for Manipur. I think it will become big.
All right,
change.
now time that Radhika come. Let Radhika come in because
Why did they release
you
these
made your
terrorists?
accusations, Arshpreet.
Just one question. She wasn't here. She wasn't here. I just
No,
have one
she
question
was very
for her.
much when you were actually making those
hearing
charges.
everything.
Yes, please.
No, I have
Radhika,
a
go ahead.
question. Why did they release the terrorists? Why did they let the ISI into Pathankot airbase? Why do they have two
All
terrorists?
right, Radhika, that is the biggest charge that's coming from the Congress party, that it's caught you off guard, and it is a reminder of how weak our nation was
nothing
back
has caught
then in
us
terms
off
of
guard.
national security.
Nothing has caught us off guard, and I'm going to give answer to each and every question that he has posed, and I hope that he will not interfere and heckle in between, because that is the strategy that the Congress is on these days. He spoke about Manipur. Well, as Kasturi ji said over here, he was too young, so maybe he was not aware that the seeds of the hatred that have been sown in Manipur is because of the Congress party and the conversion drama that they did over there. Which is why today Manipur is burning and the entire nation is cutting the tree because of it. Second thing, now when we come back to the entire movie, I was listening to the Congress spokesperson. He was talking about, okay, we have a problem. Boss, you don't have a problem if those terrorists are being shown in a sensitive light. What kind of an Indian are you? I did not interrupt when you were talking, Arshpreet, and I respect the same kind. I expect the same kind of respect when I'm speaking. You do not interrupt in between. Can you please either...
Right, Radhika, please go ahead, make your point.
This is not the way.
Arshpreet, please
If he's
stop
not to heckle,
interjecting.
he can
Let her
maybe
make
go
a point.
somewhere
You've had the maximum time
CNN
on the
is
show
not the
because
place
she
to
joined
heckle.
late.
CNN is not the place to heckle. Maybe he can go to
Radhika,
some other
please
place
go
of
ahead,
fish
make your
market.
point. Make your point.
I'm sorry, but any Indian who says that he is okay with those terrorists being shown in a sensitive light, I am sorry, that person is not an Indian. Absolutely not an Indian. You cannot glorify those terrorists by showing them in a good light. You cannot glorify terrorists by showing them that they were sensitive. What are you trying to show to the nation? That is absolutely absurd, and that is anti-national. And when you're talking about Kandahar movie, he should be well aware that the certificate has been blocked. It is not being able to release. So these people of the Congress, continuously, I'm sorry, this is not the way our debate goes on. You want to have a shouting match, go to a fish market. Akansha, I'm sorry, this is not
Radhika, let him.
This is not the way to hold a debate. I waited for my turn. He has to keep quiet. He cannot heckle in between. Or you can have the
No, I think the questions are that,
you want to have, Akansha, you have to take the call.
and that is why I'm asking you, Radhika. The questions always have been, the questions coming in from the Congress party is that this was a compromise with the national security. Radhika, I'm posing you a question that there was a
I'm going to answer every question.
Right, go ahead.
You cannot decide what I'm going to say. He spoke about Kandahar movie. Has he even seen the movie? He's talking about facts being distorted. The movie has not released, but he knows what's inside the movie. The Congress has these special AIs that can know what is happening inside the movie. And he is also not aware. This is where the Congress problem starts. They're not aware of anything that is happening. The movie has not been given its certification. Kandahar has gone on record to say that I'm being stopped. My movie is not being allowed to release. That's where they're not aware of. Second thing, when you're coming to what happened, you have to look at every aspect of what is happening in the country. We are not Rahul Gandhi, who was busy partying away when 9/11, the Mumbai incident was happening. You are not the Home Minister who was changing his clothes.
Just answer the question.
Please remember that. The
Why were the terrorists released? Why were the terrorists released?
Radhika, we don't have to be so angry right now. You need to calm down. I know you're angry, but you need to calm down. We can't handle like, and you're talking about a debate moving forward. No, Radhika. Radhika, calm down. Calm down. No, calm down. Calm down. A debate cannot go forward like that, Radhika. We can make those very points in a baritone which is lower, perhaps. It's my responsibility to ensure that there are no tempers flying around, so please.
No, it is not your responsibility to ensure that. It is your responsibility to ensure that there is no anti-national on the debate. Anyone who is okay with terrorists being glorified is an anti-national, and I say that with utmost responsibility.
Who is releasing them?
What the Congress spokesperson
Who is releasing them?
He is okay with those terrorists
All
being
right.
glorified.
They
I
should be
think
allowed in the debate. The people who are releasing terrorists, they should be allowed in the debate. The people should be allowed.
All right, Dr. Kumar, I'm just going to end with your thoughts over here. A quick 30 seconds to you. Is it high time that the self-regulation of OTT now comes to an end and we either incorporate it with the existing 1952 Cinematography Act, which talks about censorship, or bring in the new bill that's already been parked?
Let me be very clear. I've worked in the censor board with both the governments. I've been a member in the Congress-ruled government. I've been a member in the censor board and the BJP-ruled government. The main crux of the issue here is film, being an industry, should get its law, and self-censorship, if done, should have its own guidelines where there are cuts and limitations to free creativity, where anybody can use it the way they want to take it. Number one. Number two, we should be out of the BJP or the Congress coming into picture and saying this is wrong or that is wrong. See, entertainment is an industry. Movie making is a passion which a director and a producer do it for the ultimate viewer. So what we need to regulate.
All right. No, the fact of the matter remains that after the pandemic, there was a lot of brouhaha about bringing cinegoers back to the movie halls. But if we are going to follow different yardsticks for, say, a movie on the big screen versus a movie that's being released on the OTT platforms, and that's certainly not fair to the movie makers who are releasing their movies in the cinema halls. Many thanks to you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining in on this discussion. And with that, it's time to slip into a quick break. But coming up after that short break is West Bengal Assembly now passing the anti-rape bill. Is it a face-saver attempt by the state government under fire over the Aparajita rape and murder case? We'll be debating that, but in just a bit.
They do not have sufficient resources and
So, is the food being distributed through boats or drones? What is being used, or tractors?
tractors and by these boats.
Okay, okay.
Yesterday they have distributed like that. Today they are coming like the Tata AC. There you can see, no,
And,
like
and
that.
what is being given in the government packets? What are they providing?
Upma they are providing pulihara, veg biryani, and milk like that. Something water facilities.
Have you seen this kind of situation ever since?
No,
you've been
madam,
living
no,
here?
no. 30 years too, I did not see. Before 30 also, I remember I did not see like this situation.
Okay. And any message that you have for the government?
Government has to take away. I can say this is the problem because of every senior government worker, because they have to plan according to the situation to shift this water from here to out area, because people are shifting from here. Then what they can do? Today they lost a lot of instruments which they have in offices and vehicles, cars. Everything is damaged totally. Bores, septic tanks, everything is damaged.
Yeah, the scale of damage is definitely staggering, and there you can see the way people are carrying food packets one by one, and this is not just one trip. They have to make several trips, especially those who are living at the frontal part, to come over to this side, take the food, go back, and on the other end there are some government resources there who have been distributing food. But yes, Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has also said that they've been targeting last mile reach, and that is a big challenge at this point in time. Though Chief Minister has been relentlessly touring different parts of the city, but last mile connectivity is one big challenge. They say 70% of it is done, and the remaining they will be able to achieve 100% target only when rest of the resources come in terms of NDRF, SDRF, local volunteers, all the hands on the deck, and that is certainly happening on the ground. But given this unprecedented situation, it may take a longer period of time. We'll get you these ground reports with video journalist Venkatesh, Swastik of CNN News 18. I'm coming to you from Bhavanipuram Housing Board Colony. This is what the situation is right now. Water completely inundating the entire street, which has about 500 houses by rough estimate. Though the water level has gone down, it was up to almost 3 feet on Saturday, Sunday during the torrential rainfall. Though the water level has receded, but life has certainly come to a standstill, and there you can see the way people are struggling. You can see a woman there collecting her supplies and provision that is being just provided by the volunteers of the state government, and now making her way to her house. She says that while everything is being given to them, it is only the lack of clean water for utility purpose. They have drinking water, they have milk to consume, they have food which is being given, but the lack of water for utility purpose, that is making a little bit of challenge here for them. And in fact, take a look at this entire colony. The water came up to the first floor in many houses, and this is a low-lying area. The Budumeru rivulet is just a few colonies away, and the water from there. But this is the first time that the rivulet has thrown up, and for the first time in I think almost 20 years, this entire area has been inundated like this. Not just this place, there are other areas as well. Let me get you more updates and show you how people there practically building after building, waiting in their balconies for provisions, which is coming to them, which is reaching them. But what is challenging at this point in time is that there is no power, and there has been no power since the last 72 hours. The other thing that I want to highlight from the ground is the role of civic volunteers. Here you can see they're distributing food here, upma, water being given, and a lot of people are coming and taking their supplies and trying to
Welcome back. Now, the West Bengal Assembly has unanimously passed the Aparajita Bill, a significant anti-rape legislation aimed at fast-tracking punishments for rape and crimes against women. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and TMC MP Abhishek Banerjee have emphasized the need for swift justice, proposing death and life sentences for severe cases. The law seeks to close loopholes in the existing legislation. The bill proposes capital punishment for those convicted of rape resulting in the victim's death and mandates life imprisonment without parole for those convicted of rape and gang rape. The legislation also aims to introduce stricter penalties for repeat offenders, including life imprisonment or death penalty, along with substantial fines. Moreover, it does propose penalties for the unauthorized printing or publishing of court-related matters, with sentences ranging from 3 to 5 years of imprisonment and fines. The tabling of the Aparajita Bill in the Bengal Assembly has raised the question as to whether a state government can tweak central laws. Constitutional experts have noted that the states can do this under Article 254 of the Constitution. However, the law will need the assent of the President. Under fire, is it the state government's face-saving attempt after massive protests from citizens of Bengal in recent times? That's the question we'll also be probing. As far as the Kolkata doctor's death is concerned, and the new anti-rape law, we will be questioning under fire, is this the state government's diversionary tactic?
আমি আপনাদের বলি 1913 সালে আমাদের যে 88টা ফাস্ট্যাগ কোড ছিল তার টাকা কেন্দ্রীয় সরকার বহন করতেন, সেই টাকা দেয়া বন্ধ করে দিয়েছেন। প্রধানমন্ত্রী করতে পারেনি বলে আমরা করেছি। প্রধানমন্ত্রী, আপনি দেশের লজ্জা, আপনি মেয়েদের প্রোটেকশন দিতে পারেন না, তাই আপনার পদস্থ মন্ত্রীর পদত্যাগ দাবি করছি।
অসাইতে পরিণত হচ্ছে দিনের পর দিন ডাক্তাররা। পরদিন আন্দোলনের নামে মানুষকে, গরিব গরিব মানুষ যারা চিকিৎসার জন্য আসে প্রাইভেট হসপিটালে যায়, তো আজকে তারা যখন চিকিৎসা পরিষেবা থেকে তারা ব্যাহত হচ্ছে বা তারা পরিষেবা পাচ্ছে না।
टीएमसी की मानसिकता तानाशाही मानसिकता एंड कल्चर है, इसलिए टीएमसी को नाम नहीं होगा।
And with that, let me introduce our esteemed panelists today. I'm joined in by Riju Datta, who's the national spokesperson of the All India Trinamool Congress. Also joined in by Dr. Manoj Kumar, who's the principal director of cardiac sciences at Max Hospitals. Sumit Chandra, who's a senior lawyer at the Supreme Court, and a renowned author, Mr. Shiv Khera. Many thanks to you, gentlemen, for joining in. Riju, let me congratulate you, first of all, for the passing of this bill. But you know, the question that's now also being raised by the opposition in Bengal is that will Sheikh Shah Jahan will he be the first one to be hanged or not?
Look, to be very honest, today, at least today evening, I can't care less what the political opponents are saying. A heinous, horrific crime has taken place in our state, in our state capital, and we are all shaken by that. It's become national news, and it was the need of hour to pass this bill. And I thank the opposition, which is BJP, who unanimously supported this bill without any diversion or division, because this was the need of the hour. Until and unless we can instill fear among these culprits, these perpetrators of heinous crime, this will not stop. It is not something that is only happening in Bengal. It is happening in every state, every city of this country. So this is a first step. I hope the union government also takes note and, you know, makes these laws even more stricter. I am not here to do politics today. But one more thing additionally, I will say this. Today on the streets of Bengal, the juniors doctors have been protesting. The doctors have been protesting, and it's rightfully so. I hope that the union government takes note of this anti-rape bill, Aparajita, but more than that, the central government or the union government also takes note of the Central Protection Act that is the need of the hour for the doctors.
Yes.
I come from a family of doctors, and it is not just Calcutta or West Bengal. Every government-run hospital in this country where junior doctors, junior residents, senior residents are doing marathon duties. There are multiple places where there is no CCTV. They are at the beck and call of the patient parties and the patients, and even outsiders who are rampantly, walking or loitering inside hospital premises. So I believe Bengal has shown the way. Aparajita is the first step. The union government should take note of it and should follow more stricter laws to be implemented, because Abhishek Banerjee has said that in the winter session he will move a private member bill also for stricter laws. And secondly, CPA should be installed immediately in this
That's a point you've made. Radhika, many are saying that what will now change on ground level, because it all stops with the president's assent. Will the president give her assent to this bill or not? A. B. Will the centre ensure that the president gives her assent to this bill?
I'm sure a bill like this should be passed. It's the need of the hour and everybody wants that. I don't think there is any woman in the country, or any man for that matter, who does not want a bill like this to be passed. But we have to look at the nitty-gritties and everything that is there in the bill. Is Mamata Banerjee also going to apologize at the same time for Sandesh Khali and ensure that Shahjahan Sheikh is the first person to be hanged under this bill? The first rapist to be hanged, and we are waiting for that. Walk the talk. You're bringing in the bill, but what are you going to do? How are you going to implement it? If you remember, the Prime Minister on 15th August, from the ramparts of the Red Fort, had said that there are laws, but the states have to ensure that those laws are enacted and nobody is let off. So, are they going to implement this first on the Sandesh Khali incident? We are waiting. Is he going to be the Shahjahan Sheikh, going to be the first person? And he should. They should take that moral responsibility. And I would like to ask the TMC spokesperson here, Rijuji. He's always very outspoken. Are you people going to make Shahjahan Sheikh the first person to be hanged, the first rapist, because that has happened under your watch?
Riju, let's have it straight from the horse's mouth.
Out the girls who have
let's have it on record as a promise coming from the TMC. Will Sheikh Shahjahan be hanged or not?
I am, as soon as the Honorable President of India gives her assent, passes this bill is applicable. Anybody who has committed this heinous crime, whether it is TMC, whether it is Sheikh Shahjahan, whether it is BJP, whether it is from any religion background, caste, creed or color, irrespectively, will be punished. We will walk the talk. We will make sure Bengal is a safe place for women, which it has been over the years.
All right.
But my question, Akanksha, my counter question, because this was a political question.
I have other guests as well.
Yes, I'll just 1 second.
No, I asked as a woman. Rijuji, I asked as a woman. I asked as a woman who's not today that the only chief minister in the country has to
Radhika ji, 1 second. Sun lijiye. If we take this, if Sheikh Shahjahan, that these laws are implemented on Sheikh Shahjahan, can you say today on this channel on record, these laws, if implemented by the union government, will be applicable on Prajwal Ravanna and Vibhushan Saran Singh also? Can you say that on record? I have said it on record. Can you say that? That these laws will be implemented on Vibhushan Saran Singh, Kuldeep Singh, Prajwal Ravanna, and 39% of the union cabinet, which has molestation and female charges against women against them, was sitting in the union government. Say that. Let's do that. Let's make India a safe place for women.
All right. So let me put in my word. Any person, I will repeat, any person, whoever it is, who is found guilty of these heinous crimes will not be spared. Please remember that. And we walk the talk. We are not going to start covering up the crime scene. We are not going to let our doctors go on and protest on the road. We are not going to try and promote those people who tried to hide the crime scene, not going to hide their promotion, hide their corruption, who's been arrested. Now, we all saw what you did with Sandeep Ghosh, but I'm telling you with utmost responsibility as a Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson, there is zero tolerance policy against rape, and anyone who is found convicted will have to go through the strictest punishment possible, and the Prime Minister is absolutely
all right
bent on that.
Riju and Radhika, both of you have made your points. Sumit Chandra, now I'd like to bring you in. First of all, thank you for so patiently awaiting your turn. I just want to ask you, many are also saying that this Aparajita bill has also exposed the loopholes in the current existing legislation. Would you agree to that? Because so far the centre's always been talking about how the BNS or the BNSS or the POCSO, all of them have very stringent rules and laws when it comes to capital punishment for rape.
Yes, in fact, I totally agree with you. These laws are already there. They are strict. They are becoming stricter, which is a very good thing. It's a positive sign. But so far as a criminal trial is concerned, I think something need to be practical and not emotional. Now, what I don't understand is if you look at the procedural law that has been amended, and I mean, if it can be done, why not? But the law that has been amended which is section 346, which says that, the trial is to be completed within 30 days. I mean, for earlier, from the date of the charge sheet, it would take normally 2 months, which was anyways a reduced time period. Now it has been reduced further to 30 days. Investigation, which earlier would take 2 months again, has now reduced to 21 days, extendable by 15 days. So, if you are reducing it, even so far as the entire trial is concerned, it used to be completed. Disposal is 1 year, which was earlier 1 year. Now the disposal has become 30 days. See, it's very easy to reduce the time frames, but do we have the entire machinery to enable and ensure that we are able to complete the trial within that period? If it can be done, I think it will be the most amazing thing.
Also, the other question I want to ask you, do we really need special courts and a special task force when we already, when West Bengal government in itself is tom-tomming how they have the third highest number of fast-track courts in the state itself?
See, end of the day, it all boils down to having more number of courts. It's always good. There'll be faster disposals if there are more number of judges and more number of setups. I'm totally agreeable to that. The question is, even if you increase it to double or triple the number of courts, unless the courts function, unless the courts are also supported by the machinery, the police machinery to provide the evidence and things on time, and the delays are avoided, the trial will continue to take its own time the way it is. So it reaches the court only at the stage of charge sheet. Before that, it is the investigation which takes place. So a lot of it, what we talk about, it depends on the police machinery, how efficiently they'll function, bring it to the court, and of course once it comes to the court, if there are more number of courts, the trial can increase and make it better and faster.
All right, Dr. Manoj Kumar, I'm going to ask you now for the need for a Central Protection Act for doctors, because amid all the kind of movement, the civil movement that it's turned out to be, I think what is still not addressed is the need for that Central Protection Act, which I'm very glad that Riju has also highlighted.
The first thing, I agree, we all agree that this is not a West Bengal shame. This heinous and gruesome murder of a doctor at workplace is a national shame. But the bill has been passed unanimously in the West Bengal. But I think the law is already existing. As rightly said, that it is important the sensitivity of the law enforcing agents, because here comes the role of police. I fully agree with our colleague's statement that it is not, Sumitji very rightly said that it is the police who should be sensitive, and you can just my big question is that the police is doing everything against the protester, doctor protestant, but they couldn't do anything to protect the doctors who were on the strike on the midnight of 15th August. They were thrashed by the gundas and whole the protest was vandalized. So it is, police is very important, and what is law is made, but how it will be implemented, that is most important. And whole doctor community is on the road, and they have said that will not stop unless there is some Central Protection Act, but I don't think it's coming right now. But definitely law enforcement is very important, and it is very difficult to work in a government hospital, especially in the emergency where the patients come sick and the attendants. But this this incident is totally different from the violence against the doctor. It is basically killing of a doctor in a workplace, a rape and gruesome murder of a doctor who was on duty.
All right.
So I think the law can be in place, but law enforcing agents should be more sensitive and more active to fix the culprit, to find who are the accused. And 1 month has passed, nothing has been done. We are discussing, lot of discussion is going on, bill has been passed, but nothing has been done. No convict. Even this guy who has been arrested by the Kolkata police, he is saying that he is not culprit, and there are a lot of evidence with CBI, but still I think nothing has been done in 1 month.
Absolutely. And in fact, let me quickly bring in Mr. Shivkera. Sir, thank you so much for so patiently awaiting your turn. But, there's also a clause on press freedom, especially when it comes to reportage on judicial proceedings of rape cases. Do you think that removing access to the press during judicial proceedings is going to do any good when it comes to reportage of such cases? Do people not deserve to know about these judicial proceedings?
Akanksha, with your permission, may I just add a few things here? Because Nirbhaya case happened 10 years ago, and even their trial has taken almost 10 years when they said we are expediting the whole matter. And this is political and judicial problem here. And even in the US, when the Arthur Anderson case took place, do you know that there were daily trials? They were daily trials, and already a month has gone by here. And then the gentleman said, somebody said that there should be police. Can you have one policeman for every citizen in this country? Answer is no. No country can provide those kind of things at all anywhere in the whole world. So I personally feel, the way I see it, I think the center ought to be taking responsibility for it. For the last 10 years, the law and order situation in West Bengal has been a big problem. They should have set up a presidential rule 10 years ago in that state. They have not done it. It has just gone from one bad to worse. And I blame the center for sitting quietly the way they have done all this time. So the way I see it, that it is people blame the system. Who created the system? People who are dishonest, people who are corrupt, they like to have the system all messed up. Why? So that dishonest people never get found out and the honest people are in trouble. And the way the judicial system works, it protects the criminal and penalizes the honest people. And that is the sad part. I really don't have much to say about it. I think if this doesn't say enough, I think what else? I could keep talking and we'll keep repeating the same thing again and again and again. And of course, capital punishment should be given. They should have daily trial in a case like this. I mean, things like this, as I said, something that was expedited in Nirbhaya case took still 10 years. What a joke. What a joke.
And how far have we come? But I'm actually going to take a question from Riju on that note. But we have some breaking inputs coming in. This is with regards to the Ministry of Home Affairs, which has in fact filed a plea before the Supreme Court, is what we are learning. And in fact, the MHA in its plea has said that the CISF personnel are not being given proper accommodation by the Bengal government. It says that due to paucity of transportation and accommodation, CISF personnel are facing a lot of difficulty and that the Bengal government ought to address these concerns. The MHA has also warned of following contempt if accommodations are not met for these CISF personnel. On that note, let me quickly bring in Riju. Riju, the other more controversial scheme that's being discussed is also about the Ratri Sathi scheme. You know, the allegation coming in from the opposition is that it's a draconian measure which, instead of allowing women to reclaim the night, is banishing them at night from their workplaces. Would you not agree it's draconian?
It is a policy that has been brought by the West Bengal. It is not a law that needs to be passed in the assembly, and there are always chances of tuning up the policy. If there are certain things that needs to be altered or edited, that can be done at any time. What is our main goal? Our main goal is, after the entire state has been shocked by this heinous crime is to make Bengal a safe haven for women and all sort of security possible.
Point taken, and I'll have a lady have the last word. Radhika, your closing thoughts.
Thank you, Akanksha. The Ratri scheme is right out of a Taliban playbook. It's unfortunate that a government which is led by a woman who's the only woman chief minister in the country. She is also the home minister of the country. She fails to protect her women. She goes on to protest against herself, and today she comes up with something like this, which bars women and tells women, no, don't go out at night because I have failed to protect you. I cannot protect you. Well, ma'am, then please resign. We do not need such a chief minister who cannot protect her own women. And tomorrow, if something happens, like she did with the Suzette case, she will go and say that the girl's character was not okay. That's why she was raped. The country, and even West Bengal, does not need a leader like this. I'm sorry. There is no place for Taliban leaders anymore. And so this is India. We're a democratic country. There is no place for Mamata Banerjee. If you cannot protect the women of your state.
All right, and perhaps it's not just the job of a state, but equally the job of the centre to protect its women. Many thanks to you, Radhika, and the gentleman for joining in on Plain Speak. And that's all I have for you in this edition of Plain Speak. Up next is the Hard Facts with Rahul Shivshankar. Stay.
Drive-in partner.
That water and go over to the other side. I just want to have a word. Sir, what is the situation right now here?
Right now, no current, madam. People are coming down and shifting from their houses.
They are moving away.
They are moving to their neighbor houses, relatives, neighbors, like that. Because only they are providing on the main road only. Government is providing facilities on the main road like food and something like milk and medicines. Inner side, in small streets, they are not able to reach, and they are not going also. Because in this area, they have minimum 5,000 houses above. So to reach them, they do not have sufficient resources. And
so, is the food being distributed through boats or drones? What is being used, or tractors?
Tractors and by these boats.
Okay.
Yes, they have distributed like that. Today they are coming like the Tata AC. There you can see, no? Like
And
that.
what is being given in the government packets?
Veg biryani and milk, like that. Something, water facilities.
Have you seen this kind of situation ever since?
No, madam. No. 30 years too, I did not see. Before 30 also, I remember I did not see like this situation.
Okay. And any message that you have for the government?
Government has to take away. I can say this is the problem because of every senior government worker, because they have to plan according to the situation to shift this water from here to out area, because people are shifting from here. Then what they can do? Today they lost a lot of instruments which they have in offices, and vehicles, cars. Everything is damaged totally. Bores, septic tanks, everything is damaged.
The scale of damage is definitely staggering, and there you can see the way people are carrying food packets one by one, and this is not just one trip. They have to make several trips, especially those who are living at the frontal part, to come over to this side, take the food, go back, and on the other end there are some government resources there who have been distributing food. But yes, Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has also said that they've been targeting last mile reach, and that is a big challenge at this point in time. Though Chief Minister has been relentlessly touring different parts of the city, but last mile connectivity is one big challenge. They say 70% of it is done, and the remaining they will be able to achieve a 100% target only when rest of the resources come in terms of NDRF, SDRF, local volunteers, all the hands on the deck, and that is certainly happening on the ground. But given this unprecedented situation, it may take a longer period of time. We'll get you these ground reports with video journalist Venkatesh, Swastik of CNN News 18. I'm coming to you from Bhavanipuram Housing Board Colony. This is what the situation is right now. Water completely inundating the entire street, which has about 500 houses by rough estimate. Though the water level has gone down, it was up to almost 3 feet On Saturday, Sunday, during the torrential rainfall, though the water level has receded, but life has certainly come to a standstill. And there you can see the way people are struggling. You can see a woman there collecting her supplies and provision that is being just provided by the volunteers of the state government, and now making her way to her house. She says that while everything is being given to them, it is only the lack of clean water for utility purpose. They have drinking water, they have milk to consume, they have food which is being given, but the lack of water for utility purpose that is making a little bit of challenge here for them. And in fact, take a look at this entire colony. The water came up to the first floor in many houses, and this is a low-lying area. The Budumeru rivulet is just a few colonies away, and the water from there. But this is the first time that the rivulet has thrown up, and for the first time in I think almost 20 years, this entire
Viewers, please pay attention. This is a big story tonight. Pushed onto the defensive by spiraling popular dissent, Mamata Banerjee today played to the galleries as only she can. In a full-throated, theatrical performance, the Bengal Chief Minister utilized all the oratorial experience she has gained over the years to rail against the system that denies women justice. There she is, viewers, on the right of your screens, and hopefully we will be able to keep her there on your screens. Yes, the very same system she presides over and which cheated Abhaya of justice. Doesn't Mamata Banerjee see herself as part of the state administration, or does she think